Check, check. Somebody let me know if I'm coming through loud and clear. What's up, Azrael? How are things in Indonesia this morning? Or is it, what time of day is it in Indonesia? Thank you, I appreciate that. "10 p.m. Wow. So we are exactly opposite. That's kind of cool. Do you participate in Zippo Fanatic 77 Outdoors live streams, Azrael? Seems like when I've ducked in or out, I might have seen you in there before. Or am I confusing you with someone else? There are also 11 p.m. and 12 p.m. You talking about those time zones in your country? We got several time zones here too. I keep having the debate of whether we should go back to daylight savings time or just stay on daylight savings time. I think that's the consensus. What most people want to do is stay on it, and I would agree with that. But I guess there's a debate as to what the societal consequences of doing that are. No, I didn't. Well, you weren't here for the last stream? It may have looked a little close. The way that stuff squirts, I wasn't too worried about it. I've probably breathed enough of that over the years anyway, Azrael, that if I get a little bit in my coffee, it's probably not going to do me too much damage. What's up, Keith? The last stream for, I don't know the last stream for ZF77. But you are in his streams, right? I've seen you in there before? Ran into Keith once or twice this week over on the dependableflame.com Facebook group, or at least a notification that contained Keith's name. And I appreciate all you guys' interaction over there on that page. You know, especially the group is really small. It's only got like 40-something members right now. But Keith and a guy named Miles Garrod. Miles has posted in there, just like our friend Friedrich Deal has also posted over there on the dependableflame.com Facebook group several times, and that'll help that group grow. And you know, I don't know, it's really I don't know exactly why I created the group, other than I don't know if it gave me the option when I created the page, but I was just creating a Facebook presence for, well, what I did at the time, which was dependableflame.com, and then shortly after that, within 7-8 months of creating that site, then I created the YouTube channel. And anyway, so I push all of our links anytime I publish an article, which is every Monday and Thursday, or a new YouTube video, then I try to share those links over there on the Facebook group, and also the Facebook, or the Facebook page and the Facebook group. So both of those are worthwhile if you guys want to join them. Yeah, I was filling that up a minute ago, Azrael, and there's no telling. But like I said, I wouldn't have been doing myself any more damage if I got a little stray lighter fluid in there than all those years of pouring alcohol down my throat. Yeah, no, I haven't been in his stream in a few weeks. There was one or two, there was maybe two one weekend within, I don't know, sometime over the last couple of months that I was in there for a good while and was part of the discussion. But I haven't, well, it does seem like maybe I got a notification this past weekend, but I wasn't in a position to watch it. That's cool, Keith. I just got a message from my daughter letting we normally have dinner on Tuesdays with the in-laws and my daughter and her daughter, who is I guess now almost 9 months old. And my daughter was letting me know that she couldn't come because she's going to the movies with some friends, but could we take the granddaughter with us? So those grandkids are a lot of fun. How how old do you think I am, Azrael? And just curious from your perspective. Hey, Sean, what's up, man? Glad that you're with us. From your perspective, Azrael, what about my age would have made me creating that website unlikely? Is it because an older man like me uh, is typically technologically disadvantaged? Yeah, one thing that we've used the Facebook page for, Keith, is posting lighters that you want to trade. I've posted some over there. You can go back and look through. I assume that's all still up. Um, but our friend Friedrich, he posted over there wanting to trade for a Cygnus, so that's actually how I acquired this slim scrimshaw lighter. Was in a trade with him for a brand new Cygnus. I've traded with David Ward over there once or twice. Trying to think. But also, if you want to post pictures of something that you might need help with, um, and that wasn't you that did that. Yes, was that Miles that did that yesterday? I think it was. Yes, Miles that posted the picture of the Cygnus that needs some help. And if I can help with something like that, then that's a good place to post pictures. Can't post pictures in the comments of the website. That's where I'm going to most likely respond to you the fastest these days. Well, I was pretty motivated at the time and didn't really know what was going on in my life or anything else. And so and I'm pretty motivated again. So I've been enjoying writing for the site again. And at the same time, then trying to create a balance of keeping new videos out. Got some lighters out here. I took pictures. Somebody had asked me about this red anodized Hawthorne air conditioning with the pipe insert. So I'm going to be listing that soon. Also, the Bluebell authorized retail consultant. Pretty clean lighter, both of them used. But I took pictures I'm also at a little bit of a disadvantage where I'm at right now as far as taking pictures for listings, but I think I did an alright job on these. Anyway, those will be up on the site and in the eBay store. Oh, probably not today. I gotta go buy some tires when we get done here. But within maybe tomorrow, hopefully tomorrow, I may make that my priority tomorrow is get a lot of this stuff listed. I think I'm gonna list some of these Zippos also. After making those videos of my whole collection, some of these just don't make sense. They're just not really what I collect, and I don't know. We'll see. So one is this Smokin' Joe's Racing, and I still have the tin for that too. I just don't have it down here with me. But we'll take a look at some of these others later. I think I may even go ahead and sell that Majestic Views. I don't know how much those are going for now. I'll have to check. I don't want to give it away. It's a really cool lighter. Somebody hit me up in the comment section the other day about the one for the National Day of the Cowboy that they gave away. Yeah, no problem, Keith. Yeah, I found a few lighters since I made that first one of my collection, and I don't even have all those videos made. There's still a few more to make. But I found that one the other day in one of the containers. But that Serenity Prayer lighter is, like I said, I think I paid $1 for it, plus whatever, a few dollars shipping. And it's not in great shape, but I was glad to pull that out when I found it to go with the other parks. The coolest parks that I had are up on eBay right now. The Golfer and the oil oil business. What's the oil field industry? Painted graphic. Can't remember the name. Par Industries, I think it is. And then the one with the arm flexing, the Armstrong Molds Inc. Those are all three really cool lighters. And then the Storm King, of course. I still don't know if I've ever actually made a video dedicated to this lighter, but it's been in a lot of different part videos that we've done over the last few years. Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that, Azrael. You know, they do have, you know, there are some plain ones, kind of like the case of the one. That's maybe the most common part that you see is that embossed floral design or whatever it is. Pretty plain. But the cool thing is because of the anodizing process, they could do so many different colors. And there were advertising, a lot of different advertising models that even when they didn't have the higher quality etch and paint type graphic, the anodized graphics, when they're done right, you see some where there's a shadow or like the screen or whatever that it was printed off of was crooked. So, I mean, there's some limitations, but with some of those painted graphics, you got some, you know, it's not like they're all perfect, you know. The paint hasn't come off here or there or get oversprayed in one corner. Or, You get all different kinds of qualities of paint. And usually these Japanese type lighters are the worst kind, that it cracks off as quick as possible as soon as you give it any abuse or use. But this one I've been using for a while now, and it's Continental, and paint's still holding on to it pretty good. But yeah, there are a lot. That's one of the things I like about Park. I think that finding Park lighters so early in my sort of evolution through the cigarette lighter hobby opened up that possibility to me, to where seeing cool advertising is, it's not unappealing. Pretty cool to see some of those old ads, whether you remember them or not. Thanks, Sean. I have you to thank for those videos. It was your idea. Wouldn't have thought to pull them all out, and I really didn't get everything in like I wanted to. I was hoping to have all the ashtrays. Still need to get the rest of the ashtrays over here. But at least I think by the time I do the individual lighter videos, which I think there will be 2 more for different segments of the lighters, and then another one for the ashtrays. So ashtrays and the other various useful mechanisms that I have in the collection, which as I think, there's just a case or 2, maybe some tools, pipe tools. Trying to remember. I definitely need to make a video on the family themed lighters in the collection. And it seemed like there was still one other category. I can't remember. Maybe just one though. Yeah, I'll tell you what though, Keith, I don't lose near as many lighters. As a matter of fact, I'd be hard pressed to tell you of a lighter, a vintage petrol lighter, Zippo, a quality refillable lighter that I have lost. But when you're carrying around a Bic, nobody cares about losing a Bic. It's just, that's all it is a source of a flame. It's not something that you're, kind of proud to hold in your hand. Quality, useful tool that if it quits working, you can probably take it apart, figure out what's wrong with it, and fix it, as opposed to that Bic just being a chunk of plastic that's still holding a good deal of flint and probably fuel, but wouldn't be any use to you. So yeah, I've lost a million disposable lighters, but maybe it's just me, but I definitely keep better hold, got better attention. But since I started using these lighters, I don't drink either, so I'm not real careless, or my inhibitions aren't being lowered when I'm unaware. Oh yeah, Azrael, I would agree. I think that's one of the best places for people to start. And I love finding park lighters that you don't have to pay a lot of money for. So it's not like I'm trying to create a bunch of competition for when those really cool park lighters show up on eBay. But I think it's a great place for beginners to start, because you can find good lighters that are quality enough that if you want to use them, you can. I've used a bunch. There's some of, I probably have more park lighters in my EDC rotation than I do Zippos. But you can find those lighters with cool advertising on them, in perfect condition down to, good used condition for reasonable prices. And they display just as well as a Zippo does. The only difference is, for most people looking at them would be, the brand that's stamped on the bottom. Now, obviously, somebody who really knows would know that the anodized aluminum construction, that's not something that, well, I guess maybe, seems like maybe Gnarly News brought that up one time, the supposed Alcoa aluminum Zippo, but I think that's just like a one-of-one prototype. They've never put any kind of aluminum into production. So most people who knew anything about metal and metal processes would probably be able to point that out, but that's not most lighter collectors, or even most people that a lighter collector is going to show their collection to. So I get it. There's different levels of desirability, but for the price, I think they're very worthy of being in people's collection. No matter how common some people think they are. Yeah, Sean, I am going to do that. I am going to do that. That thought crossed my mind when I was driving back this way about a week ago, or I guess it was over a week ago because I mentioned it on here a week ago. Yeah, I need to get those albums from my mom and put together some of those photos. And I've really only ever had the one car that was cool, but my dad helped me build it, and he had so many. 69 Torino, 69 Ranchero GT, 69 GTX, 66 Fairlane, and a 67 Fairlane. There was a Galaxy 500 in there. Trying to remember. There was a 65 Mustang Fastback. I'm probably forgetting some. I know I am. Yeah, yeah. I think that may be the biggest problem with losing the lighters, Keith, is the alcohol. But that's kind of the common denominator when it comes to most of the problems that I encountered while I was drinking. Is the alcohol it definitely didn't help. Yeah, flints are cheap. You still see people in the groups or comment section of the YouTube videos talking about robbing the flints. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. But you're right, flints are cheap enough. But if I had a bunch of Bics laying around, I'd certainly pull the flint out before I just threw them away. But I don't, it seems like there's a couple sitting around here that were just thrown into the sack at the dispo. But yeah, I don't buy them. So I don't remember the last time I had one run out on me that I felt like maybe I could rob the flint out of. Yeah, I agree, Azrael. You're right, man. He talking about East Wadoom Flam. It seems like every video he makes, he pulls out a um, different flint dispenser or different um, fuel canister. It's it's very impressive, really cool. And I think he's only been collecting lighters for like I can't remember now. It's not been very long, like a couple of years. And he's put together quite the collection and really entertaining with his videos as well. So, Azrael, are you saying that the sunflower lighters are the first ones that you collected? Yeah, the patents. That's you're right. The way he pairs up the patents, or finds a an old magazine advertisement that's got that particular lighter in it. Really cool. He's a very creative dude, and I like those videos a lot. Yeah. Yeah, and that's something that, I've mentioned that in videos before and in things that I've written on the website, but I'm just not a fan of all that paper. It's cool to look at, but I'd rather have digital copies of it than actual, um, you know, kind of gives me the creeps to think that somebody might have had their hands on that on that magazine advertisement when they were sitting on the toilet back in 1935. I know that's a lot of time to pass, but you just can't clean paper. Sunflowers and the $1 Zippos. I've never had any $1 Zip. Well, I take that back. I think I actually paid $1.25 for this one, plus I don't know, maybe $5 shipping. I think I may go ahead and list that one for sale too. I don't know what a reasonable price is, um, but I'll say this: it's more than $35. But how much more than that, I just don't know. We may find out. But there's a lot of Zippos that, $35 is pretty good money for most Zippos. But when you start talking about the older stuff, well, $35 is for something pre 1980 or pre Roman numerals. Yeah, $35 is, that's pretty affordable for something. Of course, that's not, I'm thinking of brand new lighters. This isn't brand new, but that's part of the appeal in it as well, is all these customized engravings or custom engravings. Anyway, if you're interested in that sort of thing, I think I'm going to go ahead and list these two club lighters also. They're both one of 75. And one of these sold recently for about $90. And then the next year, I don't think I saw an actual sold ad for that one. There may be one listed right now. And the buy it now that it's listed at was not as high as that, maybe 60. Can't remember. Yeah, that would be really cool. And yeah, I would like to figure out a way to work with somebody like that. You know, that's a good idea, Israel. Especially if he gets to the point that um, you know, if he's already documented it on his channel. But I don't know. He might have plans of some of or something similar. At some point, he may want to build his own website. But yeah, that's certainly something that I would be interested in and have thought about in the past is collaborating with others who may not have the website, but still have, like brochures, ads, whatever, or patents, or even, photos of lighters or whatever else. I got my hands pretty full on a daily basis just trying to figure out what I'm doing on the website. But yeah, under the right circumstances, it's, actually posting to my website is pretty, it's, I don't know, I may screw it up one of these days, but so far I've been able to build whatever I wanted to build without disabling my website and keep everything else running. So, and I post a lot of pictures and videos over there. Every listing gets at least 12 pictures, and then I archive every one of those galleries over to brand specific pages. Thanks for joining us, Keith. I'm sorry I missed you saying that the baby needed your attention there. Um, I understand that. I wouldn't even try to do a live stream while I was babysitting my granddaughter. But we will catch you on the dependableflame.com Facebook group, or maybe catch you here next week, or in the comments section of the video, one of those places. Have a good one, and take care of your granddaughter. Yeah, I don't have direct contact with him. Trying to think. Yeah, just I follow him um, on no, that's not Instagram. What is it? TikTok. Maybe the only. I think his account is the only one I follow. Um, and then I communicate with him over here. But anyway, like I said, I got plenty going on right at the moment. Just trying to build what I'm doing on a daily and weekly basis. But yeah, it's something I'll definitely think about. And anybody out there who's got a large amount of stuff like that they might want to share, we could probably make some kind of arrangement. I'll give you credit, and if the website's ever getting traffic to the point that it's making money, then I could even give you your share of that if that content was getting that kind of traffic. I don't think, just from the way I understand ads to work, I don't think I'll ever run anything like AdSense, Google Ads, whatever. It's odd ads that pop up in the middle of other content and stuff. I don't think I'll ever enable anything like that on the site. There are other ways in the future the site might be able to make some money, but that won't be one of them. It's just too clunky. The websites that I visit, if they start having that stuff pop up all over the place, um, or you got these ads that just look so out of place right in the middle of all this other content, I don't know, it just really turns me off. So I don't think I'll ever I don't think you'll ever have to worry about that on on the dependableflame.com site. I don't know if Dylan is still with us. He was here before the stream started. And now's your chance, Dylan, if you're ready to buy this. Has had some cleaning done to it. Flint was dug out of it. And I haven't determined exactly how much I want for it, but I'm sure we can figure something out. And like I said, I think I'll go ahead and list this Majestic Views. That was the one that has not been used. And I may even go ahead and sell these. They're both vintage look. That one has a little ding up here in the corner. It happened before I got it. And I think both of these had the flint tubes cleared out as well. One with the slash corner and the other one without. So I'll be busy tomorrow, I guess. Like I said, I got some things I got to go do this afternoon. But I'll get pictures taken of the rest of these. Try to get those listed and sold. And then also, I missed a call from Gavin Lannon last night. But thinking about that this morning made me remember that I still had these other ashtrays. So I think maybe I'll go ahead and list this one. And we'll do it in one of the Penny Start 100% to charity HDSA auctions. And then I've still got a couple more, maybe 3 more of the Zippos that he sent that I can list in those auctions too. So hopefully I can find time to do all that. Yeah, I do that, Azrael, and I even created a page. I don't think I've ever posted anything there, but there's a page down under the lighters drop-down menu, the second menu, that says something like eBay listings from other eBay sellers. And when I created that, that was the idea. It was to post when I see something cool that I know I'm not going to be able to buy, but you know, somebody should definitely be paying attention to it. Post it over there with the affiliate links. And I already use those affiliate links with all of my own listings on that current eBay listings page. But yeah, ideally that is one way that I already do make commissions and some money. It's just not much. Yeah, and some of my listings get listed as, it really makes a difference how people get to those listings on eBay. Because if you go through my site from the current eBay listings page, then there's a affiliate disclaimer there on that page letting you know that I get paid a commission if you click through that link. It doesn't change your price at all. But when somebody just goes straight from eBay, from say the search results on eBay, and if they click on a promoted listing, then eBay gets paid. Um, sometimes it can be up to like 10 or 15. I think it can be up to 20%, but the highest that I think I've seen was like 10% on one of mine. And I normally set it for 1%. And once I dropped down, because I hadn't sold enough, once I dropped down out of the top rated plus, I should have turned it all off, because then I'm actually paying for it when it happens. Where there's a voucher, you don't actually pay for it if you're a top rated plus seller. But that's another motivation for me to get some of this stuff listed and selling it. Um, but anyway, so somebody clicked on one of those promoted listings a while back on one of the lighters, and so it ended up costing me twice the commission than it normally would have, because of the. Usually when it's promoted, there will be a plain link that they could have clicked to it from too. But so in other words, it'll look like the lighter is listed twice. But anyway, so it does make a big difference where you click through, because anytime you click through from my site and then you make a purchase, then if it's something that eBay pays a commission on, then I'm going to get that commission. Yeah, I've got Amazon links too. All works the same. What were you talking about? You give me $1 for, Sean? Was that the Scrimshaw or the Carrier Air Wing 7? The one I paid $1 for. Yeah, and very perceptive, Azrael, because those are two ways that, like I said, it's not enough to even pay for the website at this point, but those are two ways that I do get paid from the website. So I'm not complaining, those commissions may be small, but, hopefully someday there's more of them. Um, but, it's all different pieces of the puzzle. Yeah, the Scrimshaw is it's a nice lighter, but it's just one that I admire. It's not like I collect them. It does. Owning this one has made me appreciate the ultralight more than I did before. I sort of just thought they were cheap and wasn't real impressed. But this is actually a pretty nice finish. Doesn't look distorted or warped at all. And I'm still intrigued. I've never owned an actual Scrimshaw. I'm not sure if that is, I think that's like whale teeth, or possibly even, well, I'm not sure. Are whale teeth ivory like elephant tusks or ivory? Maybe showing my ignorance there. I really like this box too. I still haven't been back over to the place in Mesta Park with it to see if it hangs there just like the others do. That's one of the reasons I was accumulating these plastic boxes, because of that rotating display over there. Yeah, I agree with you. But I don't know. Yeah, you may have a point there, Azrael. Yeah, I probably ought to branch out, and I have written some articles on newer lighters. I mean, I use new butane lighters all the time, so it wouldn't hurt me to review some of those kind of products. That might help a little bit. Yeah, and even, I think the vast majority of Zippos market is collectors. I don't think they would still be in business if it wasn't for the collectors. And you just don't see very many people actually using Zippos. Or maybe I just don't go out in public as often as I think I do. But you're definitely right about China when it comes to, say, the refillable butane. Seems like they're all, well, just like your Bics and all that, they're all just cheap plastic. Nothing real worthwhile. I did fill that up a while ago. That's when I got warned about pouring it in my coffee. I've had all these things in this. This is a Winston ashtray that Gavin sent me. I think these are all actually camel emblems. So maybe I should. When I auction this ashtray, I'll auction those emblems. And that's just an RJR keychain. I'm not sure if RJR is that. I'm pretty sure that was camel, but I don't know if it was Winston as well. Anyway, I'm sure we can figure one of these ashtrays that was an R.J. Reynolds product that we can include in that listing. So when you go out, do you go looking, say, in like um, flea markets, or do you have like antique malls there in Indonesia, Azrael? And you say the ones there are mostly sunflowers and stuff like that. Um, but do you see other lighters? I mean, would it shock you to run across a Thorns or a Park lighter? And I get that Parks are going to be much more prevalent here in the United States because they were made here. But I mean, other than the majority of the sunflower brand lighters that you see, what other do you see other brands? Even if they're just few and far between? Because that's kind of the way I am. I mean, I see a lot of Parks and Zippos, but just about anything else I run into is an outlier. There's the new booth that I did a short video on a couple of months ago out at place on 10th Northeast or Northwest 10th and May. And it's a big booth. I need to get back out there and look, but you know, I bought that Southern Motors Inc. short Cygnus advertising lighter out there. But when I ran into that big booth out there that day, I hadn't seen anything like that anywhere around here. There's a couple other booths at local vendor malls that do have lighters in them, but not like that. What kind of lighters are you talking about? Are you talking about the like Zorro and all that, Azrael? 'Cause when I was talking about the plastic, I was talking about like these cheap butane lighters. You know, stuff like this. They put some kind of advertising label around, but the whole thing's just made of plastic, except for the burner. Okay, so you really don't see many other lighters in Azrael. It doesn't sound like. What's up, Dylan? Oobla doobla. Glad for you to join us. Just talking about how I'm gonna list all these lighters sometime soon. Including the scrimshaw, so when you say those are definitely not the ones you're talking about, are you talking about the when I said thorns or whatever, Azrael, or were you talking about the butane lighter? Okay. He says, seeing a thorn would be like mining a gold river style. Yeah, I get it. That's the way it feels around here most of the time. You know, I find a cool lighter every now and then, but I have never found anything incredibly valuable just out in the wild. I mean, I've found valuable stuff. They just weren't charging enough money for it. So, I mean, it was valuable to me in the sense that I could turn around and make a good uh, chunk of money off of it. But if stuff that I bought at local antique malls and flea markets and places like that, and then turned around and sold on eBay, whether it be a lighter or tool or anything like that, about the most I've ever made off of anything like that would have been, you know, maybe paying $5 for something that I sold for 55 or 60. Now, as far as finding things online that were unidentified and then turning around and selling them in my store, well, I've made some really profitable um, moves that way. Just out of curiosity, Azrael, do you speak English or is it translated um, through the keyboard? And regardless of that, is English your? I assume you speak another language. Do you speak English as your second language if you do speak English? Yeah, the $1 Zippo that I found, like I said, we'll find out how much I can sell that for. But no, um, that wouldn't be anywhere near the biggest profit I made off one. And it is harder now. For one, I don't have the money to spend on lighters that I did at times over the last few years. But it also seems like the competition for those kind of listings is way more. It's way more competitive out there now. It seemed like used to. Well, even in the last few years, I can remember um, purchasing a lot that I don't remember. It was 50 or 60 lighters, and these were good lighters. I'm not saying they were brand new, but you know, good used, presentable lighters like these that you see here. I mean, neither one of those two lighters are brand new, but you know, they still have aesthetic appeal, still very collectible, and you know, there's just no way that you should be paying under $2 for lighters of this quality. But you know, it was a good number of lighters that I didn't pay much at all for, and there were, man, every one of them were good. But it seems like I used to do that all the time. Now it seems rare. But like I said, I don't have as much money to buy lately, so I haven't looked as much either. Okay, so you speak both then. Some people may have trouble understanding my English. So I definitely don't speak a second language. Are you asking me if I'm going to include this cream color case? Yeah, I suspect that's one of the reasons why the lighter may sell for as much as it does. I don't know how much those cases go for, but yeah, I'll sell the whole thing. It didn't have any paperwork. Well, maybe it did. If it did, I've got the paperwork saved somewhere. Seems like maybe there was just a small flyer. Let me take a look and see if it's over here. If not, it may be in another container. I'll have to look up at another time. No, these are just warning stickers that I've peeled over here. So yeah, I think there may be a little instructional. It was just a one-page deal, though. It wasn't a whole booklet. Really? So are you being serious? 7 years ago, you didn't speak as good English as you do now? That's a pretty awesome testament to how just exposing yourself to it would influence you in that way. Yeah, it's a display just for slim. It specifically fits a slim. I think all the ultralights came in these. Maybe not the full size. I know that they do make, or they did make the cream color full size, but I think they're a lot more scarce than these. But it'll be on the. I'll list it on the first place. The first clue you'll have it's about to be for sale is when you see it on the current eBay listings page at dependableflame.com. because I always put up the photo gallery and the um, the YouTube video over there before I create the links and activate those links on that page. So it's actually listed um, on eBay, or it will be listed on eBay. But like Azrael and I were talking about earlier, those links, if you click from the current eBay listings page at dependableflame.com, then I'm going to get paid a commission when you buy that lighter or whatever you buy after you click through from that link. There's a affiliate disclosure there explaining that I'm an eBay affiliate. I get paid a commission if you click through those links, but it doesn't affect your price either way. That's pretty cool, Azrael. You know, it is interesting to me. I mean, obviously, I used YouTube way before I started posting content to YouTube. I think I created this channel in July of 2018. And before that, I don't think I had ever actually created a YouTube account. I just watched videos. But just like I mentioned earlier, that I'm got to go buy some tires in a little bit. Well, when I got ready yesterday to go out there, the battery had died in this vehicle, and I needed to get into it. And all I had was the little skeleton key, and I couldn't figure it out. Well, that's what I do, is I type it into YouTube. Pretty soon, I mean, it comes up, tells me exactly shows me a video, exactly how to do what I needed to do. So, I mean, I've used YouTube for that I mean, it seems like at least 10 or 15 years. Automobile project that you need to, you don't know exactly how this is going to work out. Watch somebody do it on YouTube. So you're right. It really has become kind of a cultural thing, and you see people, you know, basically filming themselves in things that they normally did anyway. And, the lighter thing is really just kind of an extension of that. Me showing you how to get the screwdriver in here to do this, or how to get the wick down the chimney of this lighter, or whatever. I'm going to try to do it tomorrow, Dylan, and I'll, I'll go ahead and try to list that one first too. What's up, Ben? Um, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought, Ben. What are you talking about that's an invaluable tool? Is it something I was just talking about? Oh, YouTube. Absolutely. Yes, YouTube is, if that's what you're talking about, that definitely is an invaluable tool, man. It is, I mean, not only is it entertainment if you just want to zone out and watch something interesting for a little bit, um, or even if it's not something interesting, even if it's, I don't know, it's some of the things that I watch, it doesn't make any sense, but two comedians sitting there talking to each other, you wouldn't think that that would be that funny, but a lot of times it is funny. Everybody's got a podcast. So, yeah, there are a million different types of content and a million different ways to present it. So, yeah, it is. It's an awesome tool. Yeah, I stream all kinds of stuff, Azrael. I've got well, between the two of us, um, I don't have. My wife has the Netflix account. I've got the Apple Plus, Paramount Plus. She pays for Hulu. Um, HBO Max. Showtime comes with. I think right now we have just about everything except for Amazon Prime. Well, that's hilarious. Family Guy is not. Uh, I haven't watched a ton of it, but what I have seen is pretty funny. Watched a lot of Simpsons back in the day, and King of the Hill. King of the Hill was a really good one. Beavis and Butthead way back in the day, but King of the Hill was pretty good. I don't know if that show's still on. I don't think that show's still on, but King of the Hill was really good. Yeah, I think I have that Tubi. Um, Dylan, I think I have that on one of the TVs. And the TVs also, I've got antennas hooked up to them, so you get all these sub channels from the locals. But then the actual smart TVs, they've got their own Wi-Fi content. Like, CBS News will have a channel, or ABC News. There's it seems like at least a couple dozen of those. Oh yeah, they're bringing King of the Hill back. That one was really enjoyable at one point in time. Um, I One of the jobs I did at the post office was keying in errors on pieces of mail that the machine had misread. The automated equipment that was in another room outside, or out in the bigger building. But we were sitting in this office, basically keying the rejects. But we had a lot of what they like to call idle time. When I say they, I'm talking about management. But they had left a TV in there. So we had the TV on most of the time, and I can remember those evenings. I don't remember what night it was. It seemed like Sunday or Monday that King of the Hill was on. And then it was on in syndication at one point, and playing a couple episodes back to back every day. Yeah, I was kind of surprised when I heard that about Beavis and Butthead. It's been a long time since well, I take that back. Did they reboot Beavis and Butthead back right before the pandemic, or right about that time? For some reason, that sounds kind of familiar. Yeah, I can remember way back that maybe it's kind of like Curb Your Enthusiasm. That show goes away for years at a time and then comes back for a year or two and then goes away. And I think Larry David is probably really good at kind of maybe if the comedic environment gets stale, then he can go away for a little bit and store some of this up and then come back at a time when there's more stuff out there to make fun of. Right after uh, Trump was a good time for them to come back. It seemed like there was a lot of um, comedic value around what was going on in the culture around that time. I did not mention that it is pretty cold here in Oklahoma City today compared to, we had one day last week where it was in the 80s. So it's been really nice, but it's back cold again here for St. Patty's week, spring break week. But hopefully we can keep from getting back below freezing again, at least for any extended amount of time. Yeah, that's about what it is here right now, Dylan. I think it's going to be, I don't know, it may get into the low 50s, maybe 50 today, but maybe just high 40s. Overcast and dreary. On a positive note, I think I did figure out, I can't remember who it was it Azrael that was making fun of my age in relation to being able to build a website earlier? But Azrael, I was able to figure out how to tell my phone not to let those calls ring through when, well, I set it for when I'm using the camera, and I wasn't sure exactly how YouTube used my camera, so I went ahead and said don't let it ring through when I'm using YouTube either. So hopefully we can eliminate that nuisance of somebody calling me while we're on the live stream and it knocking us all offline. Man, that's not the good kind of snow, Dylan, if it's only 35 degrees. That's just the nuisance kind of snow. If it's going to snow, I'd like it to snow and stick around for a while. I'm trying to think, we got snow a couple times this winter, but it hadn't been like it had been the last few. I drive I think it's a 2016 Jeep Renegade. So I kind of welcome those conditions. It's not like I want to deal with it all winter, but it doesn't bother me. But haven't really had the opportunity to drive around in that kind of conditions much this winter. What are you talking about, OT? What do you work for a civil authority or something, Dylan? Are you out clearing the roads? No sweat, Azrael. No sweat, man. And also, Dylan, were you in ZF77's live stream the other day? What was going on in there? I haven't seen Dead Stick Dave in a while. Is Dead Stick Dave still hanging out in those live streams? I haven't even seen him over in the Discord lately. No, you didn't miss anything, Azrael. I probably rambled for too long about something. I think we were talking about the weather. And Dylan mentioned that he'll take the overtime. So, Azrael, do you mind me asking how old a fellow you are? And what you do for a living that allows you to be on live streams at 10 a.m. and 10 p.m.? I can be on there at 10 a.m. a lot more easily than I can those 10 p.m. I guess they normally ZF-77s. They usually start a little earlier than that, 8 or 9. Um, but by that point, my old lady's usually home, and I'm not able to listen and participate like I would like to. I duck in here and there, but okay, gotcha. Yeah, probably pretty dangerous work too, isn't it, Dylan? Doesn't sound like anything I'd want to be a part of. Yeah, I used to see Dave everywhere. Dave was over in the Facebook groups, um, and then YouTube, and then the live streams. I don't know if Dave's ever been to this live stream. Matter of fact, I don't think he has. Maybe he has. Maybe he has back when I first started. If he has, it's been a while. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I think he has. But I've seen him a lot more recently in ZF-77's live stream and the Discord. Okay, so you're like in your early 20s then? Is that about right? Well, I hope you find something useful and profitable to do with your life. I found something profitable, and I mean, I guess it was useful. Back when I was around your age, I was working for my grandfather, uh, building and shipping drilling implements for the oil field industry, gate valves, ball valves, stuff like that. And he fired me. He laid me off. And so I was unemployed for like 3.5, 4 months. Drew unemployment, partied like a wild man, and I wasn't yet married yet at that point, but my son had been born, so I did have one kid at that point. I had some responsibility, but the unemployment, I was still able to take care of all my responsibility and really not have any responsibility for a few months, and then kind of fell backward into a job at the post office because of a really caring lady who she cared more about getting me hired there than I cared about getting hired there. But you know, it did. I mean, it paid the bills for a long time, but not the most rewarding work that a person can do. In fact, it was the opposite of rewarding. It was very frustrating. So I hope you find something that is not frustrating. I hope you find something rewarding. It's a decent job. It's a crap work culture, Dylan. And that's from somebody that when I stepped foot in there wasn't anybody in that building that worked harder than I did. It was people talk about toxic environments. It was a pretty toxic environment. If I had it to do over again, I would not have spent the 25 years there that I did. I'd have definitely cut it short. Yeah, you're right. It is definitely like that sometimes, Azrael. And you know, like I said, I'm not saying it's. I don't know. For some people, maybe it's good. I don't think it was good for me. It didn't end well. Do any of you guys collect basically tobacciana, cigarette branded tobacco related items like these emblems or ashtrays. It's an interesting kind of side note to me. Kind of the all-inclusive, I say it all the time, vintage petrol lighters, ashtrays, tobacciana, and other useful mechanisms. So there's a lot of things that can fit there in tobacciana and other useful mechanisms. Some things which, you know, you might not be able to get away with saying explicitly on their own. No, no, it wasn't quite like that. It's just, I look back at some of it. There were days when I went in and I wasn't, well, I wasn't allowed to be productive. And so that made it very frustrating to then go in and try to be productive. Also, things that were very frustrating, like the security question when I was selling stamps on the window. It was kind of stupid when it started. When I started on the window, you had to ask, does this package contain anything fragile, liquid, perishable, or potentially hazardous? And that was bad enough. You got to parrot that same phrase 1,000 times a day, or however many customers you get. But then later on, they changed it. They added to it. So, does this package contain anything fragile, liquid, perishable, or potentially hazardous, such as lithium batteries or perfume? Not only was it more words, but it brought up more useless questions from the other end because, I mean, you're pinpointing batteries and perfume, and there are a thousand other items that are just as dangerous that you don't mention. So it just creates more questions. Different. I used to think that there was something inherent with the post office, something inherently wrong, because there wasn't an owner that was in charge. But since being out of the post office, I've witnessed a few other people in situations in private business or private companies that I think there's just a lot of people in charge of big businesses all around that are incompetent. Emblems with lighters or like emblems with jean jackets. Yeah, I could see putting one of these on a jacket or a hat. I personally, I don't care about wearing anything that is cigarette brand related. I don't have anything against it if somebody else does, just my own personal taste. Even the ashtrays. Now, I got no problem putting out an ashtray like that and using it, but again, I wouldn't wear a T-shirt with that camel advertising on it. But I do think it's a nostalgic, really cool design. It's cool to look at. What's up, Professor? Glad that you've joined us. You're gonna have to refresh my mind, Azrael. What are you talking about when you say maybe just bring a clipboard showing the words? You talking about something I said? Yeah, that was pretty. That show may still be on. It seems like I've seen it here in the last year or so, Professor. But yeah, that's definitely my experience in the Postal Service. But it was kind of my experience in the public schools too. I had some great teachers, but they were few and far between. The ones that did care and were good at what they did definitely left an impact, where some of the others, you know, they were just there drawing a paycheck. But I worked for many, many supervisors and managers at the post office that were the same way. There were a few that were good. Few that were good. Liz and Rick, those were two of the good ones. Stu, that was a good one. If anybody I worked with was listening to me, they'll know exactly who I'm talking about, even though I didn't mention their last names. But those three were outstanding to work for. But the vast, vast majority of them, and I'm not going to name any of them, but the vast majority of them were just drawing a paycheck or on a power trip. And, like I said, it's one thing to earn a living, but it wasn't real rewarding work. Yeah, that was those words. Oh, I got you. Yeah, I got you. Exactly, Azrael. That was the thing. People would suggest, why don't you just get that on a tape recorder? But they wouldn't let us do that. They wanted us asking that question to every single person and getting a response from every single person, while all the others stood in line and listened to us stand there parroting these words like clowns. So yes, 1,000 times a day, very frustrating. But the fact that I'd forgotten that, I'm sorry that I forgot that so quickly, but it just shows you how far my mindset is from that these days. I mean, honestly, I don't think about that stuff. I don't dwell on it. You know, it's like I try not to dwell on the mistakes I made when I was drinking, and stupid stuff that I did when I was drinking. It's not going to do me any good to dwell on it now. And not only that, but like with the post office, that is so far in my rearview mirror, I don't even think about the place. Unless I start talking to somebody about their career and what they do. Or in your case, not having any work experience yet. I'm just trying to tell you, don't fall into that same trap. Try to find something that is actually rewarding, something worthwhile and productive, not where you're going to be frustrated every single day. You're going to wake up and go, oh my gosh, I got to go in there again. Yeah, no sweat. Glad that you have been here and glad that you're able to say hello. Hope everything's going all right with you. Well, I'm going to have to cut out of here in just a minute. So you guys, like I said, if you're interested in any of these lighters, keep your eye on that current eBay listings page. And if you want to email me, Dylan, I'm willing, if we strike a deal, I'm willing to list that at a price that then you can make me an offer and I can accept. So I can list it really high. I've made that mistake before. As a matter of fact, I think it was Comrade T-Man. Back right around 2020, right after I'd moved into the place in Mesta Park, I'd had it was a 1950 Zippo. I think I'd misdated it. I think, I can't remember what year it was. But whatever it was, I'd labeled it. Maybe I called it early 60s, 1960. I can't remember now. Mario Bear corrected me in the comments, but that was long after the lighter had already sold. Anyway, I'd listed it in one of the Penny Start for charity auctions, and T-Man was the runner-up, and the guy who won the auction didn't pay. But for whatever reason, it wouldn't let me issue a second chance offer. So I got a hold of him by email and just said, "Hey, I'll list this for the price that you bid if you still want it." And he said, "Sure enough." So I listed it, and literally within seconds of me hitting that button to start that listing sold to somebody else. It was one of those drop ship or consolidation ship, whatever you call it, placed in Oregon, or maybe it was one of the others. I remember it was an Asian buyer with a U.S. address. And man, I felt horrible. I should have listed it higher and let him make me the offer for that amount. But by listing it for that amount, I still didn't think that somebody would hop on it that quick. I mean, it wasn't that great a deal. It was like maybe $26 for this 1958 or 59 Zippo, whatever it was. Anyway, that's why I always say, I think we did that Marlboro Zippo the same way. I think I listed it high, and then you sent me the offer for the amount that we had determined. Yeah, he's going to make me an offer I can't refuse. But, well, you've emailed me before, Dylan. I'm sure of that. If not, definitely can communicate there on eBay. But I'm going to be listing these others probably too. I don't need to be keeping these other replicas. I've already got a collection of 1941 replicas. I've got 2 of them. And every time I find myself looking at Zippo listings on eBay, that's what I'm looking at, is a Black Crackle 41 replica or some other 41 replica. And I think I'll go ahead and sell this Majestic Views also, and these OTLS Club Lighters, which both limited to $75, or not $75, 75 of them were produced each. And the Smoking Joe's Racing. But that way I'll have more room the next time I run into another 1941 replica that I need to add to my collection. Hey, no sweat, Sean. Glad that you were able to join us. Hello, Eastwa. Eastwa Doom Flam has joined us again. We were talking about your videos earlier, and the patents and paperwork and all that good stuff. Yeah, Azrael, speak of the devil. Well, it was about an hour ago, I think, that we were talking about him. But I appreciate all you guys coming by. And like I said, we'll do it again next week. I got to go buy a couple tires and replace a battery. And then have an engagement with family this evening. So I appreciate all you guys. And we will do it again next week. Until next time.